You wake up. You check your phone. You scroll for a few minutes. You drag yourself out of bed. You rush through a shower. You grab coffee. You're out the door. And by 9 in the morning, you're already exhausted, already behind, already reacting to the day instead of leading it. Here's the problem. Most people think mornings are just preparation for the real day, a necessary inconvenience before work starts. But that's not how high performers see it, and it's definitely not how the Japanese see it. In Japan, there's a concept that most Westerners have never heard of. It's not about productivity hacks or morning routines filled with ice baths and journaling. It's simpler than that, and more powerful, because it's not about what you do, it's about how you start. And the way you start creates momentum that carries through your entire day. So if your mornings feel chaotic, rushed, or draining, this will change that. Let me show you how. Most people approach mornings with one goal: get through them as fast as possible. They see the morning as an obstacle between sleep and the workday, so they optimize for speed. They cut corners, they multitask, they try to squeeze in as much as they can before the clock runs out, and they think that's efficient. But here's what's actually happening. When you rush through your morning, you set a tone of urgency, of stress, of always being behind, and your brain carries that tone into everything you do for the rest of the day. You're not starting from calm, you're starting from chaos, and chaos compounds. In Japanese culture, there's a different philosophy. It's called ma. Ma is the concept of negative space, the pause between things, the silence between notes, the emptiness that gives meaning to what surrounds it. And in the context of a morning routine, ma is the idea that slow, deliberate actions create mental clarity, that starting your day with intention isn't wasted time, it's the foundation for everything that follows. This isn't about being lazy, it's about being present, because when you're present in the morning, you're not just preparing your body, you're preparing your mind, and your mind determines how you show up for the entire day. Here's a simple example. Imagine two people. Person A wakes up, checks their email immediately, sees a stressful message, and spends the next hour anxious about it while getting ready. Person B wakes up, ignores their phone, makes tea slowly, sits in silence for 5 minutes, and then checks their messages. Same stressful email, but person B's nervous system is regulated. They're calm. They can think clearly. They respond instead of react. Same situation, completely different outcome. And the only difference is how they started. Most people underestimate this. They think the content of the day is what matters, but the state you're in when you encounter that content matters just as much. And this is where it gets interesting. Now, here's what most people misunderstand. They think a good morning routine is about doing more. Meditation, exercise, journaling, gratitude practice, cold showers, affirmations. They stack habit after habit until their morning becomes another to-do list, another source of pressure, and if they miss one thing, they feel like they've failed. But that's not the real reason Japanese morning routines work. The reason they work is because they're built around simplicity and ritual, not optimization, not productivity, ritual. And there's a psychological difference. A routine is a set of actions you perform to achieve a result. A ritual is a set of actions you perform with full attention and presence. Routine is functional. Ritual is intentional. And when you treat your morning like a ritual, something shifts. You're no longer rushing through actions to get to the next thing. You're fully engaged in each moment, and that engagement creates a mental state that most people only experience during meditation or flow, but you're creating it before your day even starts. That sounds small, but it changes everything. Here's the first principle. Slow down one thing. Not everything. One thing. In Japanese culture, this is often tea. The act of making tea isn't rushed. You boil the water. You watch the steam. You pour it slowly. You sit with the cup. You take the first sip and you notice it. You're not thinking about your schedule. You're not planning your day. You're just present with the tea. And what this does is train your brain to focus on the present moment. It interrupts the default mode of future thinking and past ruminating, and it creates an anchor, a moment of calm that you can return to throughout the day. Most people skip this because it feels slow, but slow is the point. You're teaching your brain that not everything needs to be rushed, and that lesson carries forward. Here's the second principle. Clean something. In Japan, cleaning isn't just about hygiene, it's about respect for your space, for your things, for yourself. So every morning, many people clean a small part of their home, not the whole house, just one area, a countertop, a corner of a room, a window, and they do it with care, not because it's dirty, but because the act of cleaning creates order, and when your external environment has order, your internal state follows. This is why you feel better after organizing your desk or making your bed. It's not about the cleanliness, it's about the sense of control, the feeling that you're starting from a place of care and intention, and that feeling sets the tone for how you approach everything else. Here's the third principle. Move without agenda. Most people exercise in the morning to burn calories or build muscle, and that's fine. But in Japanese culture, morning movement isn't about fitness, it's about waking up the body. So instead of a hard workout, many people do something gentle: stretching, walking, light yoga, tai chi. The goal isn't to exhaust yourself, it's to activate your system, to move energy, to connect your mind and body. And when you move without pushing, without striving, you create flow. You remind your body that movement can feel good, not just hard. And this sets a completely different tone than starting your day with an intense workout that leaves you drained before you even begin.
But here's the problem. Western culture tells us that harder is better, that more is better, that if you're not optimizing every minute, you're wasting time. So we've turned mornings into another battlefield, another place to prove ourselves. But the Japanese approach is the opposite. It says that less done with full presence is more valuable than more done with distraction. And the data backs this up. Studies show that people who start their day with calm, intentional actions have lower cortisol levels, better decision-making, and higher emotional regulation throughout the day. Not because they did more, but because they did less, better. So here's the shift. A transformative morning routine isn't about adding more, it's about slowing down what you already do and doing it with presence. Let me give you a simple framework. Choose 3 actions, one for your mind, one for your space, one for your body, and do each one slowly with full attention as a ritual. For your mind, make tea or coffee. But don't scroll while you do it. Don't plan while you drink it. Just make it, drink it, notice it. 5 minutes, that's your mental reset. For your space, clean one small area, a surface, a shelf, a corner. Not because it needs it, but because the act of caring for your environment shifts your state. 3 minutes, that's your sense of order. For your body, move gently, stretch, walk outside. Do 5 minutes of tai chi or yoga, not to burn calories, just to wake up your system, to feel your body, to move with intention instead of force. Here's the mental model. Think of your morning like tuning an instrument. If you rush the tuning, every note you play will be off. But if you take the time to tune it properly, everything that follows sounds better. Your morning is the tuning. The rest of your day is the music. And most people skip the tuning because they're impatient to start playing. But the musicians who sound best are the ones who tune first, every time, without exception. This is the same principle. You're not wasting time, you're setting the foundation, and the foundation determines everything. Here's another reframe. Most people think they don't have time for a slow morning. They're too busy, too many responsibilities. But here's the truth. The people who feel most rushed are often the ones who need this the most, because rushing creates more chaos, more mistakes, more stress, which creates more rushing. It's a cycle. But when you break the cycle by starting slow, you create clarity. And clarity makes everything faster. You make better decisions, you focus more easily, you waste less energy on distraction, so the time you invest in the morning pays back 10 times over. That's not motivational talk, that's how attention and energy work. Most people never notice this. They keep grinding, keep rushing, keep wondering why they're always exhausted. But the people who figured this out, they're calm, they're clear, they're effective, not because they're more talented, but because they've learned that the first hour sets the tone, and they protect it. They don't check their phone, they don't dive into email. They start the day not by reacting to someone else's agenda, they start with themselves, with presence, with intention, and everything else flows from there. So here's the key insight. The quality of your day is determined by the quality of your morning, and the quality of your morning isn't about how much you do, it's about how present you are while you do it. You don't need a complicated routine. You don't need 2 hours. You need 3 simple rituals. Something for your mind, something for your space, something for your body. Done slowly, done with attention, done as an act of care for yourself. That's it. That's the Japanese approach. And it works because it's not about productivity, it's about presence. And presence is the foundation for everything else. So tomorrow morning, try this. Don't check your phone when you wake up. Make your tea or coffee slowly. Clean one surface with intention. Move your body gently for 5 minutes. Most people will never slow down enough to realize this, but now you know. And if you want to go deeper into the psychology of habits, routines, and how small changes create massive results, subscribe, because this is just the beginning.